Thanks, Vanessa, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all raring to go after lunch and had enough coffee and cake to get you through the next sessions. Indeed, we're from the organization Reuse. What I'd like to introduce first is a bit about our association and also some of the policy mechanisms which we're trying to promote to support reuse and repair activities in Europe. In particular, looking at the possibilities for generating local employment in the field, which I think is really, really important. There's lots of potential in reuse and repair. So indeed, we represent social enterprises working in the field of reuse, repair, and recycling. They tend to be national and regional networks of social enterprises. And we have a couple more members now, so 30 members from 17 countries, and also the USA, representing a world of some 130,000 workers, volunteers. The main areas which these organizations work in is primarily textiles, furniture, and electronics. There's plenty of other material streams and product streams that they work with, but these tend to be the bulk that these organizations are working with. We're based in Brussels and Belgium because we follow primarily European policy, and the reason we follow European policy is because within the European Union, national policies, especially for environment that our members are affected by, are dictated at European level. So that's really why we're working on that. So my first comment, which I wanted to make, was that the world of reuse and repair is extremely diverse, as we've seen. Ryan's just presented the tool library. There's flea markets, there's thrift stores. Reuse and repair mean lots of different things to lots of different people. And I think when we're talking about trying to create, a positive policy environment for these activities, this diversity must be recognized. Within the space of reuse and repair, there also operate social enterprises which use the economic activity of reuse and repair to especially find job and training opportunities for people who are really finding it difficult to find a job for whatever reason. Maybe they've been long-term and unemployed for whatever reason, finding it difficult. And they provide opportunities for these guys to really stand on their own 2 feet again and really gain self-confidence and make it back into the workplace. People like Alexis and Chantal, for example, a couple of examples. Although there's thousands of different stories. Alexis, for example, he fled his country after war. He came to Belgium, and he didn't have so much professional experience, but came across a social enterprise, Le Petitien, in Brussels, and he managed to gain experience in terms of repairs of large household appliances. And now he himself is doing the training, electromechanical training, for people who also need the training. So it's really thousands of stories like this, and it really shows that from this perspective, reuse has tremendous social value, not only to mention this part, but also the possibility of providing good quality second-hand items for people of all income levels, people who may not necessarily be able to purchase new. So what are we trying to do? What do these organizations that we represent, what do they really want in terms of the policy context? Well, one thing, there's two aspects which we really work on. One is to ensure that these organizations have access to sufficient amounts of material that they can sell or that they can donate. So reusable goods of sufficient quality as well. And on the other hand, these products that they get, as I just mentioned, are of a certain quality, that they are easily repairable, that they are durable. And so we're working on trying to achieve these two things. On the partnership level, we're looking at possibilities of setting targets for reuse, quantitative targets for reuse. Up on the screen here, we have a map of Europe and a blown-up image of Belgium. Belgium is split into 3 regions: Flanders, Brussels, where we're based, and Wallonia. Wallonia, you may have heard recently in the discussions about a certain trade agreement, but I won't go into that discussion. What we're focusing is on the Flemish region, the colourful one at the top, at least the colourful one on the screen, where they speak Dutch. It's a region of about 6 million people, and they have a reuse target there, 5 kilograms of reused material per capita. They also have an employment target next to that target of 3,000 full-time equivalent people to be supported by the target. In Flanders, there's now 5,000 people which are employed as a result of this target and in the field of reuse. And it's now been increased to 7 kilograms of reused material per capita. So it's a way of really encouraging partnerships between reuse organizations, waste management companies, producer responsibility schemes, and so forth. So that's one aspect. We're also looking, I just mentioned producer responsibility, on setting really clear criteria for implementing producer responsibility, because up until now, we haven't really really seen that this is a tool that really supports waste prevention and reuse. So that's something very important for us. In terms of really trying to support social enterprise as well, we're trying to encourage local governments to set social clauses in procurement and tendering procedures as well. Going to repair, in terms of trying to promote easy-to-repair and durable products, we're looking at, well, we've mentioned there to make it cheaper for repair, so possibilities of reduced VAT in the field of repair, and also reduced VAT on the sale of second-hand products. We're looking at more harder regulation as well. Can we ensure that independent repairers have access to repair and service manuals? Can we ensure that there is a minimum time for manufacturers to provide, for example, spare parts for different appliances? And to ensure that products coming on the European market, and I say on the global market, are easily disassembled with non-proprietary tools. These are some of the ideas. We're not working on this alone. We're working also with different organizations as well, but these are some of the key ideas which we're pushing. Final slide and final reflection which I wanted to share, whilst we can talk about the policies and the discussion a little bit more. I was at a conference last week where there was a presentation on advances in sorting technologies for recycling. And at the end of this presentation, there was a big slogan or sign with a question mark saying, "Towards a jobless future in recycling." This idea that machines are replacing increasingly people in the field of waste management. And it's an area which, in general, has been very labor-intensive and lends itself very well to providing jobs. Well, I sincerely hope that in the field of reuse and repair, with the right political will and the right support mechanisms, we can really support jobs locally and really make it a wonderful place on really lots of on economic, social, and environmental level. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michael.